Yo, how you doing over there, ma'am?
Oh, thanks for your
Ugh.
everybody. Thank you for
The technology and the things, but we are here. What's up? What's
your
up? Get in
everybody.
here, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Conversations. We see y'all getting on in here, honey. So we were a couple minutes tardy, right? Because
Yeah,
technology be doing the most. But we recovered and we're
dear blood of Jesus. Uh,
here.
I hope everybody's okay today. I'm okay today. Hey, Maisha. Hey, from Virginia. Oh, some things been happening in Virginia, but anyway. Oh, not anyway. Welcome to Conversations, our wonderful show. Oh, but no, like, okay, so start again. Welcome to Conversations.
This is the blooper reel.
We wanted to try something different today, you guys. We Kimberland usually drives the train, but I wanted to try and drive the train. So welcome to Conversations. I don't have a script, so I'm going off the cuff here. So welcome to our show, our bi-weekly talk show where Kimberland and myself update you on the newest and the latest and the greatest and the most topical news that we think brown girls like you should or would care about. My name is Sabrina Jackson. I am a marketing professional, a podcast host. What else do I do? Do all the things. Or I try to do all the things. And who else do we have?
And hi, y'all. I am Kimberland. Super excited to
Hey,
be
y'all.
here with y'all out of Central PA. I am an educator, an author, a life coach, a blogger. I'll be out here doing the most too. But tonight, I'm one of your co-hosts here on Conversations. Super excited to be here. So Aisha said, have we been drinking already? No. We're both very sober, actually. But this is what happens. So, like Sab said, usually I am like doing all the production stuff. So y'all be hearing me over here like, wait, like hold on, the things. So Sab is learning how to do that part.
Yes.
And it's a lot.
I'm so dependent on Kimberland sometimes that I realize that I really need to learn how to do this. And while these aren't things that you ladies need to know on the back end, you also need transparency in knowing that we be frustrated. We do this show for you, and it's a lot that goes into this. And just be patient with the introduction that I gave, because just be patient with us. Give us some grace. And yeah. I'm so nervous. Why do you feel so nervous in front of y'all?
No, I appreciate I feel like this is a safe place to learn, right? Because our community is so super supportive and they're always here, just always like, yo, what's up? What we talking about tonight? So I think that this is the most awesome opportunity to learn. And like Sab said, like so much goes into doing these shows. Like y'all see the finished product on your end, but if y'all could take a look into this window, child, that we be looking at, it's all sorts of things that's happening over here, okay? But we are truly committed to bringing you all an amazing experience. So that's what we're doing, is making sure that we are continuing to hone that. So do want to give some shout outs to people that are here. And if this is your very first time hanging out with us on Conversations, we want to know that as well. So if you'll drop first time in the comments, if this is your very first time. If you are always here with us, you're an OG, as Aisha said, go ahead and drop "Hey Beautiful" in the comments so that we can recognize and honor you all. Branyelia said, I hope I said it right, Branyelia. She said, don't be nervous. We love you, Sab. So the people are here. Danewa said, hold on, let me find hers. Hold on 1 second. She said, don't worry, friend. I'm nervous every single time, but this community is always supportive. And Danewa and I had this same conversation. It was so funny. She was a former Brown Girl boss guest. And she was like, oh my God, friend, I'm so nervous. I was like, well, we got you, right? So that's what we do
Yeah.
Beautiful Brown Girls. So shout out to Monica, first timer, who is here.
Oh.
Hey, Monica, welcome. We also have Sabia is a first timer. So shout out to her as well. So spirit fingers to our first timers. And hey, beautifuls, to all of our OGs that are hanging out with us today. So Sab already did our official what this is, what you watching, like type of situation, whatever. But we do have a couple of announcements that we want to make sure we get out before we jump into the show. Today, I'm just in full transparency. We have some really high points in our show today, and then we have some, we don't really want to talk about this, but we got to let y'all know what's happening type of things, right? But we are going to end on a high note. So make sure that you stick around to the end. We have another game that we're playing this week. It is going to be so much fun, and we need y'all's participation, okay? So having said all of that, quick reminder that we want to make sure that you all are connected to us on our Beautiful Brown Girls social network. So our social network is our VIP place that is free from the algorithm and all of the things that we have that be trying to hold a brown girl down out here on this internet, right? So if you go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com, you'll be able to join our members network and really get connected and continue the conversations that we start here and further them throughout the week. We also have a movement challenge that is coming up, actually started today, and that's happening in the members network. So that is an opportunity for us to think about moving every single day, right? Making sure that we are exercising or doing some type of movement. So today I was at my standing desk, and I was like doing all of this in my meetings today. And the people were like, you are right. I was
black surfing.
It's movement day, you know, so I had to be out here like with the things, right? Because it's time to move. Can I give a shout out to myself?
Yeah, let's do it.
What? So y'all see I have on my nice paraphernalia here.
Y'all see that.
I got it off of Etsy. I just found it one day. But anyway, shout out to me that myself and my line sisters, we have our 20-year Deltaversary this Wednesday. 20 years. April 14, 2001, I crossed the burning sands of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Pretty AB chapter at Fisk University. And let me tell you something, I can't believe it's been 20 years. So shout out to me and my line sisters and to all of the devastating divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Ooh, whoop, all right. I'm done with my shout out.
Okay, no, you're supposed to big up yourself and big up your sorority. You are a sister of the Divine Nine, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a feat. So are you're not a silver, you're seasoned. Are you silver's 25, right?
25, so not yet. But you know, I think I look real youthful, girl, because like 20 years, child. That time flew by fast. So you know, I just wanted to appreciate the hard fought journey that I've traveled here in this here organization. So thank you for allowing me to do that. So
you're welcome.
Are we ready to jump into what we have for the people today?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we always start off with new releases. What we got?
Let's see. What do we have here? Okay.
Sounds like finding pictures. I got you. While you find that, I'm going to talk about what we have here, okay? So ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu unveiled a master plan to celebrate Black History Always. So we know so many times Black History is relegated to February, right? So everybody's like, oh, it's Black History Month. But now they have come out with this Black History Always campaign that they're going to be utilizing. So on the 29th of each month throughout the year, they're going to have content that is unique and authentic on each of those platforms. So again, that is ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, where they'll have some blackity black content.
And I love this. I love how they are walking the talk of these corporations instead of just remember at one point in time, they all did the little black square and that was it. We never heard anything from them. But at least I appreciate that these streamers are being intentional about amplifying Black content. So big ups to Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. The next new release we have out is called, oh, geez. Oh, well, now there actually are several new releases. So you got Concrete Cowboy. Have you ever heard of that with Idris Elba? And Idris Elba is the only person that I know in it. Actually, he is the only person that I know in it.
No.
But it's an estranged father from the summer. A rebellious teen finds kinship in a tight-knit Philadelphia family or Philadelphia community. And I guess they are getting to know each other in the concrete community of Philadelphia, because I call New York the concrete jungle. Well, I guess Philadelphia is like the concrete cowboy. Well, but yeah, I think, yeah. So you have that, and then we have a couple other new releases out. Does any of these jump out to you guys? You got Dad Stop Embarrassing Me with
So we talked about one before on the show. That's with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I saw a trailer of that one. But to this Concrete Cowboy though, I am just like really growing to understand how many Black cowboys there are.
There's quite a few
here. I wasn't really aware. Right. And I know like they're really big in Texas, like, but we didn't really have cowboys in New Orleans. So it's a thing. Like, so I'm kind of realizing that it's a thing. So I think that's pretty cool that they're coming out, and hopefully it'll give some type of insight into what that looks like. So.
All right. So the next we have is a new Stars company, not Stars, the app. They have a new show coming out called Run the World by the creator of Living Single, which I'm certainly looking forward to that. And it's Run the World is a story of a group of Black women, vibrant, fiercely loyal. I don't want to liken it to that, but it's let me finish reading it. Vibrant, fiercely loyal, best friends who work, live, and play in Harlem as they strive for world domination. At its core, it's an unapologetically female show about enviable friendships and not only surviving, but thriving together. I don't want to compare this to, Living Single. I know we talked about I hate comparing it to white adjacent shows. So I'm really trying hard not to say the name that I want to say. But I'm definitely looking forward to this, especially if it's from the producer of Living Single. Like, this is a show that we all grew up on. At least I did. I'm a 90s kid. So certainly looking forward to it. So
yeah, I saw the trailer for this, and it had Black girl amazing vibes like all over it. So it made me really want to see it. I really didn't even know what it was. I just I think I was on somebody's that chick Angel's Facebook page. So she has shared it. And when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like so cute. I want to watch this. So I'm excited about that. So it's coming out on Stars, again, the Stars app, and it's called Run the World. So something to look out for.
All right. Robin says we are the original cowboys. Didn't you say that?
I'm growing to understand that, Robin. Like, I didn't even know. Like, me, I'm learning new things, getting new wrinkles in the brain. Okay. So what we got next, Ab?
All right, so we got next. So top news that we think that you should care about is so Lakeith Stanfield is going to be the first Black samurai, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, so if you are, let me get this picture up. If you are a big anime fan, a Black anime fan, then you could potentially dig this. Yeah, so yeah, he's going to be the first Black samurai in the Netflix anime series called Yasukui.
Don't give me the line, girl.
Yasuke. Yasuke, maybe I pronounced it correctly.
That feels good. That feels good right there. Do you watch anime though? And do any of y'all watch anime? Because that's something else that I'm going to understand, that there is a big Black following of anime. And I
Mm.
didn't know. That's a no. That sounds like that's a no for you.
Yeah, I don't watch anime. I'm looking in the community. I don't see anybody responding. I don't watch anime. I'm not into it. I am just not into it.
Nikisha says she used to watch it. They're like, Jennifer was like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tawanda said that she watches it. Sabia watches it with her husband. Okay, so maybe y'all could kind of tell us over there in the comments about like what anime is about, like what the hype is.
Yeah, because
Never watched it, but I see it all over Netflix all the time. Um, so it's a thing, I hear, right? So this is a pretty big deal that Lakeith is going to be the first Black samurai, because apparently that hasn't happened before.
oh, Cindy says she watches anime. Okay.
See, I told you it was Black people watch anime.
Can somebody share like what? I don't know. I guess I can Google it. I guess it's like a soap opera of cartoons. Soap opera, the soap opera of cartoons. I don't know. Maybe.
They'll tell us. They'll tell us in the comments.
All right. So next we have Amanda Gorman, excuse me, and she has graced and is covering the cover of Vogue. She's the first ever poet to cover Vogue magazine. She talks about all the money, how all money isn't good money. And she turned $17 million down in offers because they didn't align with her mission. Talk about a woman with integrity. Like, I can dig it. I love it. Congratulations. Like, what do we think? Do we like the pictures?
Listen, this girl, as far as I'm concerned, she is just so regal. I just appreciate her presence, right? And I had heard of her before the inauguration, but since then, just watching her blossom and have all of these opportunities just come into her lap, like it is just so amazing to watch. And knowing that she's so young, like I want to say she's 22.
Yeah, 23.
She is just so gracious in everything that she does. So I just really appreciate everything about her. Annalise said brown girl magic for real. Okay, like just everything. Her melanin be popping. I still see her in that yellow coat, honey. She just get it, boo. Okay, that's what I got to say about Amanda Gorman. She is bomb.
All right. So next we have, so Utah dads will be required to pay half of pregnancy costs. And let me explain what that is. It says biological fathers in Utah will be legally required to pay half of a woman's out-of-pocket pregnancy costs under the new law in Utah. It's unique to the state, and critics say that it doesn't do enough to adequately address maternal health care needs. What do we think about this? I think this is great, but I'm like, Utah? I don't want to be ignorant, but I didn't realize there were a good amount of this is gonna sound really ignorant. Are there Black people in Utah?
Did you say what? Are there what?
I said, are there Black people in Utah? Like Utah?
There are some Black people there, but it's not just for Black people, right? It's for biological fathers, period.
I know. I'm just looking at the picture and I'm thinking of Black women, and there's just, yeah, I'm just thinking of Black women. And,
I'm here for it. As Sabia said, good, because it's expensive, right? When I was doing research on the cost of childbirth, it is astronomical. Like
costs, or the like a doula costs, or what kind of costs were you like? Hospital costs?
A baby, like the hospital bills and the doctor's visits. Like I did not know. Right. Clearly, I don't have any children. Right. But I did not know the cost of childbirth, and it is astronomical. So to think that we have to make a law to get biological fathers to take 50% of that. So as Aisha said, you help bring the child in the world, you need to help pay for it, right? So I can appreciate it. And I also feel like if we get in the habit of making men accountable for pregnancy, then maybe they'll stop being all up in our uterus to try to figure out what we're doing, because they need to own some of it. right?
Yeah.
Because they don't, the men kind of get to skip out sometimes. So I
Love it.
appreciate it.
I love
I'm
it.
here
I
for it.
hope it expands to other states. But yeah, she says, what did she say? Hospital costs, epidural, doctors, and if you have to stay longer, C-section and other complication, it costs even more. Wow.
Yeah. And Cindy says, start paying from the beginning, right? So from those first visits, like, yes,
Yeah.
I think this is great. So hopefully it does expand and, really allows other states to have this type of coverage. So it's a start.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next topic. We want to talk about DMX, we heard about the passing of DMX this past weekend. He passed away, I forget the date. I want to say it was the 9th, and he passed away of a heart attack. And this is a legend. Like, a lot of people are talking about his difficult past, but I think that his difficult passing made him just the powerhouse figure that we all know DMX to be. He was a man of God, a strong man of God, a strong man of faith. He means a lot to hip hop, and I won't say that I was a huge fan, but I regarded him as being someone in the industry that we all know, and we all know a number of his songs. Like, we all know a lot of his songs. He played in what's the movie? He was an actor. He was an actor. He played in Belly. But yeah, he was a regarded person, individual, that a lot of people in hip hop seem to will miss from him. Yeah.
I was definitely a fan. The summer of 99 is when I went to college. And that is the summer that Rough Riders came out with their album.
Rough
And
Riders. Okay. That's the R, right?
yeah, that was the soundtrack of that summer. You hear me? See? Sabia's like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a Rough Rider when I was listen. That album right there. Okay. Like, we were all piled in my homeboy's Honda Civic. Okay. Riding through the streets of Nashville at Fisk University, bumping Rough Riders like so hard. But even just when we think about his songs, like the crossover, right? So when you think about stop, drop, shut, like nobody can say stop. Like, either if somebody says stop, people either say in the name of love, or they say drop, shut, open up shop, right? Like, he has left such a mark on hip hop. And one of the things that you mentioned, Sab, is how many people were talking about the troubles that he had, and about addiction. Right.
We also talked about how people were questioning and challenging his faith and his.
Correct. So with addiction, like, one thing that's important to know is that addiction is a disease, right? And what was happening is people were saying, oh, well, he was addicted to drugs. So, he did all these prayers or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he must not, have faith, or he must not be a Christian or whatever. And it was sad to see, because DMX always talks about his faith. He always talks about how much he loved God and appreciated God. I was actually just watching interview with him and Wendy Williams that she posted in the honor of his life, and she said, oh, you found religion when you were in prison. And he was like, no, I always had religion. If anything, it gave me time to read the Bible again and to get deeper in my spirituality, right? So it really it's sad when people try to take away who he was and where he stood in his faith because of the troubles that he was going through, right? So we do want to destigmatize that and make sure that we honor the legacy that he did leave. And for some reason, this picture isn't showing up well. So let's just give the information out. So if you know someone who is struggling with addiction, there is a number that you can call. So we'll go ahead and put this number on a ticker for you all. But it is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration hotline. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up here for us. But this is if you know, or if you or somebody that you know is struggling with addiction, call this hotline to get assistance because it's a disease. Right. And I think when we start treating addiction like we do diabetes or heart disease or whatever else, then we have the ability to have some empathy for people who are struggling with the disease of addiction. Right. So definitely just wanting to honor him, and shout out to the community. They found the name of the movie is Romeo Must Die, that we were trying to pull. And it sounds like we can rent it on Amazon Prime or YouTube movies. So shout out to them. They be on it, boy, with this research. They be like real time getting it in. So if you want to check that out. Also, Sab, you were saying there was a playlist, right, that came out. You said Breakfast Club has sent a playlist out.
So this morning I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and they played a clip from a playlist that they plan on releasing of all of DMX's prayers. And I believe, and don't quote me on this, it may be released on Spotify. And we wanted to play it here. We had it all ready to go, but we were unsure if we were able to do it, not risking getting cut off by the Facebook. But yeah, if I would, a playlist of all of his prayers, because, you know, we just talked about how close he was to God and his relationship with God, and the fact that he is a phenomenal poet as well, was a phenomenal poet as well. So they played a clip of it this morning on the Breakfast Club, and him praying in the most DMX way, in the most beautiful DMX way that we remember him to be. I really wish we could have played it here, but go listen to the Breakfast Club podcast.
You know, they be looking for any reason to kick us up off this here internet. So we didn't want to get kicked off. But if you go ahead and find that playlist, then you can hear, because his prayers are beautiful. So Aisha said, thank you for recognizing it is a disease. Those with addictions need help and support, not criticism, and not to be an outcast. So again, if you or anybody that you know is struggling with addiction, the number is there, 1-800-662-HELP. That is the number that you can call to get support with that for yourself or your family member, because even as you're trying to support someone who is struggling with addiction, it's difficult. It is a difficult road to travel. So we definitely wanted to make sure that we honor that. So having said that, and thinking about DMX was only 50 years old, right? That is 10 years older than myself. 10 years, yes, Ab, you're 42. So 10 years older than us sitting here. So one of the things that we wanted to talk to you all about is about writing our own eulogies. So Sab, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was a little hesitant to actually bring this up, just because I didn't want this to be morose. I didn't want us to, I know a lot of us have a tendency to think of ourselves not as immortal, but we prefer to pretend as though we'll live forever, right? And I was reading something, I think it was an article that I found online. And it talked about if you take the time to reflect on your own death, and even doing something, writing your own eulogy, it could provide you with invaluable gifts. So I think about the most recent death of DMX, the passing of, Whitney Houston, Prince, MJ, how they all died similarly. And I was thinking how so many of, okay, this is my notes here. So it says, when we take the time to write our eulogies, it creates this magentic pull power that draws us forward. So I wanted to give you tips on how to write your eulogy and why you should write your eulogy. It says our priorities and our vision for where we want to be as leaders and how we'll get there come into sharp focus. It says this clarity enables us to make the best decisions, get up out of our comfort patterns, create new habits, and start moving forward for a better future toward the legacy you want to leave for yourself. It was a Fast Company article that I found it. So one tip was set aside a few uninterrupted hours, block it into your calendar and get out of the office. The second is write your eulogy as if your life ended today. The next is write out your eulogy as you hope it would read in the future when you pass. The next is read it out loud. And if it doesn't pull out emotion, then there's more work to be done. I've been thinking about writing my own eulogy for a couple months. And I'm not saying that I'm foreseeing my death, but these are things that I'm thinking about my legacy. I'm thinking about what I want people to say about me when I pass. And I want to know, like, what's the community's thoughts on writing your own eulogy? Do you feel motivated to do it? Do you feel in doing it? Kimberland, community.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that in 1 second. I want to honor what Maisha just said, right? So Maisha said eulogy, we need to make sure we have a will, right? So when we talk about like estate planning and thinking about the end of life, like Sab said, a lot of times we get really, really we get ostrich syndrome. So we just try to stick our head in the sand and pretend like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So thinking about all of these things, having a will, Andrea said, having a trust, having life insurance, right? Thinking about what we want people to say about our lives. Is super important, as well as planning for that transition to make sure that the people that we care about are not tasked with all of these things that were unfinished, right? So thank you, Maisha, for bringing that up, and Andrea as well. So regarding a eulogy, this is something I actually think about often, believe it or not. And it's an exercise that I do with my life coaching clients. I believe I've read this poem here on our show before called The Dash. And the dash is really about honoring the dash in between when you were born and when you depart, right?
Right.
So, I often think about what I want people to say about my dash. And my personal mission in that is I want people to say that I left people and things better than I found them. Like if I was going to I don't want a funeral. Just by the way, I'm just saying that publicly for everybody. So if anybody tries to have a funeral for me, please know that I'm going to come and haunt you. Okay. I feel like it's a waste of money. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is if there was going to be a tombstone, I would want it to say something like Kimberland left people better than she found them, right? But I don't want a tombstone, okay? I actually want to be turned into a tree because I just want to oxygenate the earth, okay? So whoever, just putting that out there. But anyway, it's something that I think about all the time. So what I wonder for you all is, what do you want people to say about you when you leave this earth, right? So let's pause for a moment and let's drop that into the comments. So Sab, what about you? What do you think about writing a eulogy, or what would you want to say about you?
I don't know what I would want people to say. I have been thinking about writing my own eulogy. I saw something online maybe like a couple months ago, and it just got me to thinking that this is how I want to be remembered, So I haven't wrote a bunch, but I started writing little things, just little notes. But again, like I'm not necessarily thinking about my death often, but I do think about the legacy that I want to leave for my family. I don't have any kids, but I still want to leave a legacy for how I live and for how I try to live the most fulfilling life for myself. I don't know. yeah, like it's challenging for me to come off the cuff with what I would want people to say and remember about me. That's why I want to take the time to write the eulogy so that I can leave some type of print and what do you call that? Leave some type of mark for people to remember me by. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah. That's why I brought it up, because I thought that this is really interesting, and it's something and we'll do.
Yeah. So I'm gonna highlight a couple of these that are coming in, but we put the comments up, but we didn't really say anything about it. So Branyelia said she specializes in estate planning and helping families find adequate life insurance. So if you are looking for that, go ahead and reach out to her. She's hanging out in the comments with you all. So definitely wanted to honor that. So then when we are looking at what people hope that others will say. So I would want people to say that I was an honest, genuine, compassionate person who strived to add to people's lives and improve the world around me. Donna said that I brought light, love, and laughter. Andrea says, I hope people are able to say that my presence in their life empowered them and directed them to a deeper relationship with God. I love that. Or she said, at the very least, smile. So this is just something, right, that we wanted to bring up. And again, it's just about thinking about the transition, right, and planning for that so that our loved ones aren't tasked with having to figure out our wishes, having to figure out monies and you know, all things, right? Have those conversations. That doesn't mean that you're going to die sooner. It means that you're planning to make sure that those who are mourning and those who are grieving don't have to now think about how they're going to tie up all of these loose ends, right? So as Sab said, find you a quiet space and time. Get hooked up with an estate planner. Holla at Branyelia, you know, or someone that you know that can help facilitate that conversation, because we all are going to die one day. Sorry to break the bad news, but it's going to happen unless the rapture happens first. Okay. So having said that, let's go ahead and transition over into thinking about COVID. And we know, unfortunately, this is one of the things that are out there that have caused many of us to lose people sooner than we anticipated, right? When we think about, who was it that just passed from COVID that was unexpected? It was just last week or so. Oh, it was somebody, I'm like, who was it? It was somebody that I did my acting training with. And he's 42 years old, healthy, and passed away from COVID just a week and a half ago. And like,
were you close to him? Were you close to him? You said he was your acting coach.
Close. We definitely knew who each other were. Like, we could pick each other out, you know, in the street, and we'd be like, hey, what's up? But it was just kind of jarring, again, that this is somebody that I know and so young again, right? So he was just 2 years older than me and passed away from COVID, right? So we definitely want to remember that COVID is out there and it is a thing. So this looks like COVID passport, Sam?
Yeah, so passports are being developed to verify COVID-19 immunization status and allowing inoculated people to travel freely about the country. About the country? No, okay, so here's the thing. The White House ruled out requiring the federal vaccine passport, but there are talks of developing a vaccine passport to allow you to travel the world. Just because the U.S. won't mandate a vaccine passport doesn't mean other countries won't. So if you want to travel abroad, they're going to require you to get. So it's just something to think about. As of 6 a.m. April 1st, a total of 56 million. I want to make sure that I saw this 56 million Americans had been fully vaccinated, or at least 16.9% of the country's population. Yeah, And I know we talked about last episode, Pfizer's vaccine are predicted to prevent coronavirus infections by at least 80% with just the first shot. So those are some things to consider, that some countries may require you to show your papers, just similar to your passport, that you are vaccinated, because they're really trying to quell this thing. And yeah, I don't know if you're a traveler, Kimberland, but if you are a traveler, are you with it or you're against it? The community,
With
are
or
you
against
for
having a vaccine
vaccine passport? Mm-hmm.
I can see the need for it, or I can see the conversation about it. I struggle with mandating vaccines, which I know, like in school, for instance, like there are certain vaccines that children have to have. I don't know. My jury is out on this one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe after time, my thing with the COVID vaccine is it's still new. So I think for me it's early to be requiring everyone to get it, in comparison to vaccines that have been around for a while. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay. All right. Well, the
Yeah.
jury's still out. It's okay
But
to have.
we did hear on the call last night. So on the Win with Black Women call last night, there was a few doctors that were on there. And one of the things that they stressed is that we want to make sure that we are not saying or promoting the narrative that Black people don't want the vaccine, because that is not a fully true narrative. So they were saying how that is damaging to everything, that the work that they're trying to do. So I appreciated that. And I know that there's a big move with Michelle Obama right now, who has a what do you call it? A campaign to get people to get the vaccines, and it's called Roll Up Your Sleeves, that she is doing. So NBC has joined with her and Dr. Fauci to have a what do you call it? A show, I guess. It's going to be coming on Sunday, April 18th at 7 p.m. And during that show, it is going to really focus on getting people vaccinated. And you'll see a lot of Black celebrities who are getting the vaccine, in order to encourage other Black people to get the vaccine. So shout out to First Lady Michelle Obama in getting that done. It's going to be on NBC, NBC on this Sunday at 7 p.m. So it's called Roll Up Your Sleeves. So we can watch that and see what information that they put out there as well. And then we also want to make sure that we remind people to continue wearing your masks. Right? It is important to understand that COVID is still a thing. I think Karen put earlier that Washington has gone back to phase 2. There are quite a few areas that are continuing to roll restrictions backwards and forwards or what have you, based on the infection rate, right? So it's really important to make sure that we're continuing to wear our masks, we're continuing to be vigilant, we're continuing to understand that everybody is not vaccinated. Therefore, it is not just a free-for-all out there just doing whatever you want to do, okay? Yeah. So let's make sure that we continue to be diligent and vigilant in that, washing our hands, wearing our masks, and of course, being aware of who we are around. If not vaccinated, having your bubble and that's it. So just really honoring all of that.
I feel naked without my mask. It's in my daily life now. I don't have a bunch of bajillion masks to style with the various outfits. I use the same kind of surgical mask all the time. And yeah, I feel naked without it. And until we get to like maybe 90% full herd immunity, I don't feel comfortable going out without wearing my mask in public places. Here in Texas, there is no mandate. We shall see how if the numbers rise in the next couple of months or so. But I think for a while, I at least am going to continue to wear my mask. I even sometimes wear it when I'm hiking. I know that sounds silly. Why are you wearing your mask outside by yourself hiking? But I'm also used to wearing it. I wear it in the car by myself. And the only reason I do that is because I don't feel like taking it off and putting it back, taking it off because I'm lazy like that. Yeah. I'm looking at people's comments, and I'm seeing people here in the community. A few have gotten the shot, and I like that you were on the call yesterday. I was on the call. I think I got on there late, but I think I like that they reaffirmed that trying to remove that's rumor or stereotype that Black people don't want to take the vaccine. Can I also talk about really quickly, and this is, I'll be done after this. I remember we talked about this in a previous episode about if you still have hesitations or reservations, just follow the money, follow how white people are jumping over Black and brown communities to go get these vaccines. So we mentioned about some of these politicians jumping over the line to get the vaccine as well. So just think about that thing. Follow the money if you still have reservations, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, totally. So transitioning over into our Black Lives Matter section, we have a few things that we need to discuss. The first is that Major League Baseball pulled the All-Star game from Georgia in response to the voting laws. So last show we were on and we talked about the voting law that had been passed in Georgia that has made illegal to give out water. It reduced the polling sites. It reduced access to absentee voting. And early voting as well. So since then, there has been like this war going on with the Governor Kemp and all of the industries and companies that have headquarters in Atlanta or in Georgia, as well as tourist events. So organizations called for conferences and all those types of things to be canceled until Georgia rectifies this. So the latest is Major League Baseball pulled their All-Star game out of Georgia, which resulted in Governor Kemp going on to doing a press conference and basically calling them a bunch of punks, basically. So there's a lot that's happening there. There has not been a formal call for boycotting. So we saw some things going around, and that's one of the questions that we had last night on the call with Black women, if there has been like a formal boycotting call, like a particular day or something like that. Right now, it is basically not traveling to Georgia. And then Coke and Delta rectified their positions when they saw the potential.
After the backlash.
Yeah, they saw the potential backlash. So then they were like, whoop, let's go ahead on and clean this up right quick. So that has happened, but just definitely pushing for firm stances from companies about where they are with this. Aisha says Stacey Abrams and Tyler Perry are trying to keep films. That's something else I just saw today. Will Smith had a new project that was going to be filming in Georgia. So he pulled out of Georgia as well with his project. Yep, there it is. Just really people are being very aware of aligning themselves with Georgia after this, also to discourage other states from passing these initiatives because they're definitely in talks in other states as well. So this is something that we're watching very closely and trying to pay attention to developments there.
So do you care, or do you believe, or do we believe companies like Coke and what was the other, and Delta, who retract their statements? Like, we already know that your first statement is what you meant. But when you retract it because you may potentially lose money or lose customers, do you believe, or do you still patronize companies like
It
that
makes
that are
me
like,
because what Mother Maya said, when the people show you who they are the first time, believe them, right?
yes,
So but I'm also like a cancel culture type of person, which is probably
you
not good.
are.
Right. I am. I cancel somebody in a second. So so for me, it don't make a difference. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still done because you should have said the right thing the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's acknowledged the fact that they changed their stance, right? I can't say that it's heartfelt. It was definitely because of dollars, but they changed. So
Yeah.
do with it what you
All
will.
right.
So then,
All right.
I don't know how many of you all know this actress. We have been calling her Thandie Newton for the longest, but there was an article that came out this past week about her reclaiming the spelling of her name and the pronunciation of her name. So her name is actually Thandiwe. She is Zimbabwean. Her mother's home nation is Zimbabwe. And it was being spelled Thandie or DI. Sometimes you would see it, but the actual spelling is Thandiwe, Tandiwe. So it was really important. Go ahead.
Did we mention why she decided to do this, and to mention why the true spelling or the previous spelling of her name is because I think she talked about how she was in a film and they left off the last two letters of her name, and then she just kind of kept it. I think in the credits, she left off the last two letters of her name, and then she kind of just kept it. Which is, they left off the last two letters of her name in her first film, and she just allowed herself to be known as Thandie. Back then, said Thandi. I appreciate it. I love it. I respect her. Like, yeah. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a beautiful name. And I love how she is trying to or wanting to reclaim her name in Hollywood. I mean, it makes her unique. I love her movies. I can dig it. I absolutely dig it.
Goes to honoring one's name, right? So it made me think about my own name, which is not
your
necessarily descent. My mother made it up. But my name is Kimberland. And for the longest, when I was in school, I just introduced myself as Kim, because people will call me Kimberly, people would say Kimberland, and it would just aggravate me.
Kimberland.
Yeah, they just stopped reading. Like, they literally stopped reading after the L. They just figured the rest of those letters didn't count. So I used to just introduce myself as Kim because I didn't feel like going through the whole thing. Like, so it's Kimberland, like England. You don't say England, you say England, right? So it's not Kimberland, it's Kimberland. Like, I didn't feel like having to do all of that, so I would just say Kim. But as an adult, I really decided that I loved my name. I was like, my name is super unique and I really appreciate it. So I started going by my name, Kimberland. And when people would mispronounce it, and sometimes still do, I'm like, that's not my name. My name is Kimberland. My name is not Kimberland. My name is not Kimberly. Kimberland, right? And I correct people every time. So when they're like Kimberly, I'm like Kimberland. Kimberland.
Kimberly, Kim. Wow.
Kimberland.
Kimber, have they ever just gone by Kimber? Like,
they try that too. Can I just call you Kimber? No, because my name is Kimberland.
Yes, that's crazy.
Right? So honoring a name and not allowing people to call you something other, right? And we do that all the time. Like, we'll be talking about, especially with people of African descent, we'll say, oh, well, can we just call you, such and such or whatever? No, honor their name and put the time in to figure out how to pronounce someone's name, right? And if people are mispronouncing your name, correct them, right? Until they get it right. Okay? So, all
right. So next we have Tashara Jones, the first Black woman to win the St. Louis's mayoral race. So congratulations to her, and shout out to Tashara. So she was elected St. Louis's first Black female mayor. She was elected and she will be sworn in, I believe, at the end of April 20th. She was the city's treasurer at first, and she beat an alderman. She beat an alderman by 2,280 votes. If that doesn't tell you your vote matters and your vote counts and how we really need to be vigilant and going to those polls, 2,280 votes.
Yeah, that's not a lot at all.
No, not at all. And I want to talk about this really quickly, how Arkansas, they're passing 2 bills aimed to tighten election laws. So Arkansas lawmakers moved to tighten restrictions on absentee ballots and limit how long people can hang around polling places. What's another city we just saw? Georgia. Was it Georgia?
Yeah, we just finished talking about
things crazy. Oh gosh. So we say that. Was it Georgia?
Yes, girl, we just talked about that.
I know. I'm just like, I'm really trying to think back to. I'm trying to think back to. Girl, I'm just thinking like, okay, yeah. Trust it's not the alcohol. I'm too nerve-wracked. No, you're not the alcohol. I wish it was, but. All right. So congratulations to Shara.
Jesus. Y'all stretch your hands towards Sab for a second, please. Everybody stretch a virtual hand towards the camera. Okay.
Right, so next.
We have some updates about some things that have been going on that we don't necessarily want to discuss, but need to discuss right quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. We're just going to tell you right now because we going to hit it and quit it, and then we rolling up out of it, okay? So the New York City Council voted to end the practice of qualified immunity for qualified immunity. So basically, qualified immunity is not being able to file a civil lawsuit against a government official if they are doing their official duties. So what happened with qualified immunity is police officers who committed crimes that were their official duty weren't able to be charged, right? So New York has ended that practice of qualified immunity, and they're the first city in the United States to do so. So why does this matter? So we're thinking about things such as the Derek Chauvin trial that is happening right now, where we have a police officer who murdered George Floyd. Also thinking about a couple other situations that have happened over the past couple days, in the past couple months. So just yesterday, there was a young man, Dante Wright, who was murdered just blocks away from where George Floyd was murdered and where Philando Castile was murdered. So that happened, right? And basically, Dante Floyd is a 20-year-old Black man who was stopped for having too many air fresheners on his rearview mirror. He exited the video. They released the body camera footage. He exited the video. As they were trying to cuff him, he tried to jump back into his car to pull off. There were several police officers that were there. A white female officer yelled taser, but instead drew her weapon. She shot him with a single bullet while he was on the phone with his mother. So that just happened. There was also a releasing of a video with a lieutenant, Karan Nazario, who this was in Virginia. He is a Black and Hispanic Army lieutenant who was driving, minding his business. He had a new truck, and he had the temporary license plate for that truck taped into the window. The officers didn't see the license plate and pulled him over. He questioned why he was getting pulled over. They then proceeded to pepper spray him. So this is one of the interesting things. Sab, can you find that picture so we can put that up? So one of the interesting things that happened during that interaction, specifically with Lieutenant, what is his name again? Lieutenant Nazario, is that the officer that was talking to him, so the officer has since been fired from his job, but the officer said something to him to the effect of, it really doesn't matter. Like, so they went through the whole situation, they cuff him, all of that, put him on the ground. So then all of a sudden, the whole tone and tenor changed when EMS arrived, and they were like, man, if you would have just listened, that whole thing. But then the officer said to him, we can just make this, not worry about this, So I called the chief, and the chief said we don't have to worry about it. Now you could go ahead and make a fuss if you want. I mean, that's your right. Like, you could do that. But if you can make a fuss or not make a fuss, either way, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Basically, is what he said. It's not gonna matter to him either way. So this is why that discussion about qualified immunity is important, because the officer like that, and that's the type of tone that these officers take, is like, nothing's gonna happen to me regardless, so it's whatever, because they know they have that protection. So it's a really big deal that New York remove that qualified immunity, because it gives citizens the opportunity to be able to seek justice when things like this happen. So again, not gonna stay long here, but just wanted to update you all on the things that are happening right now currently, because you may find yourself being triggered in these moments. And one thing that we did want to make sure that we were intentional about is letting you know that you don't have to sacrifice your peace to stay in the know about what's going on. I personally have not watched the Chauvin trial. Have you been watching, Sab?
I have not. I have not watched the trial. I'm intentional about not watching the trial to protect my peace. And I'm getting the highlight reels. And real quick, I just want to, and I know I want to leave off on that, but I wanted to talk about police officers and how until they start feeling the effects of what can potentially happen to them, i.e. being sued and losing their pension, that will hurt and hit them where it hurts. Like I love that New York, and I think Los Angeles is probably the second largest police union, but I can love and appreciate, not love, I don't know if love is the word, but I can appreciate that the state of New York got rid of that, because when you see instances like this and you have cops like that who clearly know that ain't shit gonna happen to them, but then if you start hitting them in the pockets, I mean, then maybe they'll start to move a little bit differently. And when it comes to killing our kings. So with that, yes, I haven't watched, I don't want to watch the trial. Again, I'm just getting the highlight reels. And anybody in the community, are ladies watching it?
Don't look like it. So they're saying no, and that is okay, right? So again, we just want to make sure that we're protecting our peace and that we're honoring our peace as we are continuing to navigate this world in our Black skin, right? So let's do that, right? Get your news from wherever you need to get your news from, but don't feel that you have to inundate yourself in this in order to be down or woke or for the cause or whatever people might make you feel like, right? Your peace is way more important than that. All right. So slight transition over into thinking about Tarana Burke. So Tarana Burke is the founder of the Me Too movement.
The Me Too movement.
Yeah.
So she is, so she struck a deal, overall deal with Tarana Burke and her producing partner, Mervyn Marcano, I believe. So they struck an overall deal with the iconic racial justice, anti-violence, gender equity. She has a lot behind her name. Advocate, Me Too founder, and our producing partner, storyteller Mervyn Marcano. As part of the agreement, the duo will partner with CBS Studios to develop scripted and unscripted and documentary content for the linear television networks and streaming platforms. So this is another huge step when it comes to inclusive storytelling in the film and TV industry. I have not known Tarana Burke to do movies. Have you?
No,
I'm excited for it.
but I am
I'm
uber
excited.
excited because I really feel like she has made such an indelible, I can't talk right now, an indelible mark on the movement and all of the things within the movement that needs to be honored. And I feel like
Yes.
a lot of people didn't give her credit for starting the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
So shout out to CBS for
Yeah.
honoring that and honoring her in giving her this platform to be able to tell stories that matter. I really do
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. It should be good. I like Tarana Burke. I love listening to her talk. I
Yeah,
do. That's just all right. So
absolutely.
next we
So,
talk about our fun segment. You
yes,
brought this segment up. Yes, you
I
brought this
brought
up.
it
I
up.
thought this was
I brought it up. So, did y'all watch the verses, the Earth, Wind, and Fire, and the Isley Brothers verse? Okay.
I did not.
Now, in full transparency, I only watched about 5 minutes of it because I can only say Steve Harvey for so
Ooh,
long.
yes.
Okay, because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
vexes my spirit. But when
Dex
I
is your
had
spirit.
tuned in, he does. He makes my teeth itch. Um, but y'all, when I had tuned into the verses, right, I was like, where is Ron Isley? Where is Ron Isley? Like, who is this man that is sitting up here? Where is Ron Isley? And child, Ron Isley was sitting right there. Girl, I
I didn't
said, okay,
like. So,
Ron.
so has everyone seen the meme? I hate to put a damper on a funny damper. The meme where it says like the iPhone picture and the Android picture. It's had like a picture of Ron Isley, a not recent picture of Ron Isley, and then which was the Android picture, and then it had this picture that we all see on the screen as the iPhone picture. It was a funny meme going across the internet. But
No,
anyway,
I'm not getting into your iPhone Android antics. But listen, let me tell you
so
something about this
so why are
this
we bringing Ron Isley up
because
outside of the verses?
honey, let me tell you something. So there's this it's not really a new term, right? But it's a term, right? Zaddy. Okay, it's zaddy.
Like
So
like
we want to
that,
give
like
you the
Zaddy.
definition. Yes,
Zaddy.
Zaddy. So we want to give you a definition of a zaddy. So a zaddy is a fine, handsome, and sexy ass intelligent man that makes you smile and just every time you see him. He knows how to handle business in and out of the bedroom. You low key want to have his baby. He makes all parts of you excited, including your mind. He smells good, looks
Zaddy.
good, and is good. Okay. Nakisha said he is a zaddy right there.
How old is Ron
Okay.
Isley? Isn't he like 70?
Hey, zaddy. So this is the thing, real talk. Okay. So we
I
have
mean,
a
that
question.
has nothing to do with it.
We have a few questions. The first question is, at what age does a man become zaddy status? Okay.
That's a good
At what
question.
age does a man become zaddy status? Okay. So y'all tell
I
us
think
in the
I think when you start getting the that's a good question because we're going to talk about some of our lusted
Don't tell them
zaddies.
yet.
And
Let them answer this first.
okay,
Don't tell them yet. Don't
so I
spoil.
don't know. Maybe okay. It's not until you start getting the gray hairs. That's when you're
Okay.
a zaddy. So you can be. I think you can be
Okay.
zaddy when you start getting the silver fox beard and
The
the
silver
silver
beard.
fox streak. I think that's zaddy status. I don't
Okay.
know.
Irma
I
said.
think that
Irma said when he got good credit.
you don't check his credit. I mean, well,
Oh, man, we might need to. That might be something we need to do is check that credit score. Okay. All right. So
my
let me see.
goodness.
Jackie said 65 or 70. Linda
Okay.
said 50.
Yep. I can
Brandelia
see.
said whenever the silver streak starts. Okay.
Yeah.
Maisha said most definitely after 50, but it's not about age, it's about swagger. So
I
what does
love
the
that.
swag look like, child? Just describe it for us in the comments. Okay, so this is the next question. All right. So looks like 50 plus is daddy status. Okay. So then the next question. So we don't have a picture here. I actually should have pulled it. A picture of Ron Isley and his wife. So Ron
Oh.
Isley's wife is 36 years younger than he is.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Hmm.
Sab, that would mean that you and I would be dating a 76-year-old man if we were Ron Isley's wife. So my next question is, how many years, like what's your range, right? So I'm 40. I feel like 55 is probably about my cutoff. Unless he's super fine, then I could probably do 60. But I
Wow.
can't really
Okay.
see myself going over 60. That's 20 years for me. So what's y'all's range? Okay, so we already said daddy status starts at 50. But then what is your range from your age that you're willing to go to holler at
Yeah.
daddy?
For me, no, I'm 40, so no more than, I don't want to go 10, 11 years. So
Okay.
51, 50, 48, 49, 50, 51. Yeah, I can't do 60. Definitely can't do 70. I'm not Anna Nicole. I don't want to do
So you say 50, 51, 10 to 11.
50,
That's you.
51. That
Okay.
is me.
All right.
Or
All right.
yeah, but no, that's the range. So I'm 40. So a zaddy for me could be 45, 46, 47, 48. Again, the gray hairs, the
So
streaks, the
5 to
swag,
11 years.
smelling good. Oh my God, I love a man that has a cologne that I immediately can just remember
Girl.
this memory. A man that I know that has wonderful cologne, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah. When you have a memorable,
Now, come back. Wait a second.
sorry, reel her in, reel her
No,
in. Okay.
Sam took a trip down some lane. I don't even know if it's memory lane. Wait a minute. How many years, Sam? 5 to 11?
Uh, no, it's five. Yeah, 5 to 11. I said
5 to
10,
11.
but
Okay. So Erica said no more than 7 years. All right.
okay.
Um,
What else do we
Christina said
have?
2 years, older or younger. All right.
Okay.
Irma said 5 years and he has to have good credit. Okay. Irma is not playing about this credit. She needs y'all to understand. Okay. Brayeli said 10 to 11 years is a good range. All
Okay.
right. Pretty said 5 to 7.
All right.
Linda says super fine, nowhere near my dad's age, so a max of 15 years. All right. Maisha says 10. Molly said Ron is 79 years old. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool.
Okay.
All right. All right. So it looks like we're establishing like some ground rules here for Zaddy status. Okay. So
Can
Zaddy
we
is
reference Maisha's comment? I love her comment. She says the older he gets, her husband, she talked about how her husband is
well,
10 years
yeah.
older than her. And the older he gets, the sexier he gets. And I think that is just so beautiful. And his natural scent. Uh, she said, I love his natural scent. He does not need cologne. Oh, that's so cute. That's so sweet.
Black love. Power to the people. 7. Molly says 7 to 10 years max. Phaedra says she's with Irma. Credit is everything. And Yvonne
Yeah.
said 10 years, fine. Kids grown and out the house. Okay. All right. So zaddies are over 50. It looks
All right.
like our range is
Do they
about
all
2
have to be over
years.
50?
Huh?
Okay.
That's the
Okay. I'm
community
like, they don't all
consensus.
have to be
I'm
over. Okay.
recapping. I'm
Okay. Yep. Yep.
recapping.
We're taking the
So
community's
the
poll.
community
Okay.
said 50 years old is about when you enter Zaddy or Silver Streak. Okay. 10
Mm-hmm.
years is about our average, right? Good credit. Okay. And it
Definitely.
seems like no little kids or kids grown. All right. That's
And out
kind
the
of where
house.
all right. Now, okay, next phase. We pulled some zaddies, y'all, and we need y'all to rate them, okay, on a
Okay.
scale of 1 to 5. All right. So let me
Ooh,
do
there's
this.
gonna be so much fun.
So we're gonna rate the zaddy. I'm making us a note here on a scale from 1 to 5. That's not how you spell it. From 1 to 5. Okay, so 1 is gonna be Oh no, child, he got worms. Okay.
Wait. Oh, wait. Oh no, child, he got worms?
He got worms. That's what your grandma used to say, is that the old man
Worms?
has worms. Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Your grandma never told you
Y'all,
that?
no.
Y'all heard that before? The people been talking about it all over the internet, child.
He got
They said the old man
worms?
got worms.
Never heard of that. But we learn something new on this show. I learn something new on this show all the time. But I'm just like, last episode, you damn near jumped through the screen when you found out that I didn't eat shrimp.
I did. I almost lost it. Okay, so rate the zaddy.
Rate the zaddy on the scale
from 1 to 5. Okay, so
So
1
5?
is. I'm about to tell you. 1 is
I'm just jumping. I'm excited.
5 is yes, zaddy. Okay, so y'all gotta rate him on the scale from 1 to 5. So 1, he got worms. Annalise said worms and cooties. Yes, child. So 5 is yes, daddy. Okay, y'all got it. Y'all got the rules. Yes. Okay, Sam, it's on you. Okay, so
all right. So here's the first zaddy. Scale of 1 to 5.
On the scale of 1 to 5.
That's our first zaddy. Now, this was my pick. This is my pick. Do we know who he is? Do we know who he is?
Tell us about this brother.
His name is the METHOD man. This is Method Man. He just is getting finer and finer with age. This man is 50 years old. 50. 50 years old. And he is just...
The community is here for it.
Beautiful.
Now, he doesn't have the gray streak, but he does pass the 50.
No, he probably put the base age. I'm sure he got a gray streak somewhere. But yeah. So that's...
So a bunch of people said 5, but Jackie said a 3. Jackie said a 3. Karen said she don't know. He don't have the gray yet. They're committed to the silver streak.
Yeah. But he's 50. Of course he got gray. He's covering it up.
So meth is fine. I don't know. I don't consider him a zaddy though. I'm gonna need some gray for zaddy. I'm gonna need some gray for zaddy. I'm gonna give meth a 3.5. I'm gonna need to see some gray for zaddy status. I'm just saying.
I get it.
You're not putting up your money right now, girl.
Wait a minute. Let me. Wait, because she said,
"Don't say it."
You make me want.
They gotta go into the comments to find it.
Oh, all right.
Meth is a solid. He averages a good 5. It looks like. Okay. All right, Branyella, you gotta follow the rules. All right, who's our next zaddy?
Our next zaddy. Do we got the gray? So that's Andre 3000 for those of you who don't know. But yeah, he got the little gray.
You do got some gray around the crown. Give us his stats.
And he is 45. So 45, member of Outkast, rapper, father of Erykah Badu's child. Children. I think he only has one. Who looks like Andre spit him out himself. Huh?
They're not really here for Andre. He's not as that.
No.
Andre's got some ones that are showing up. Keisha said we don't have selections. What's going on? These are just the first 2. We have more. Hold on. Too young, young, and too much hair. Now I can say I needs me a bald head. Okay, like I'm just anyway. It said 2, maybe a 3. Too young. I don't think he's a zaddy either. I really don't. He's too young. I just
I'd agree. Maybe I'm just. That's why I picked him.
Okay, who we got next?
Yeah, I do love Andre. All right, so our next zaddy is, let's see, Mr. Denzel. I mean, how old is Denzel? I don't know how old he is. I have to look him up.
66.
What?
Mm-hmm. He's
Okay.
60.
He got the gray. You know,
He does.
he still looks
His kids are
handsomely.
grown.
His kids are grown
He
and out of
probably
the
got
house.
good, right.
He probably has good credit. So Irma
They
said he's
here for
64. Thank
Giselle.
you. Okay, yeah, Denzel is look at that. Yeah, Denzel is yeah. I'm looking 6. Phaedra.
Irma said 1. Irma said not here. Jennifer said Denzel is too overrated. I don't care for Denzel either, to be honest with you. But
Okay.
he's closer to Zaddy than Andre 3000.
Yeah,
I'll
I
say
would have
that.
to give Denzel about a 3 because he doesn't elude swagger for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's just this professional zaddy. He's not like a swagger, smell good zaddy. He's like the
Mm-hmm.
motivational zaddy. He's not like
Mm-hmm.
sexy. Like I feel wrong lusting over Denzel just because I respect him. So like he's like the respectable zaddy. I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
to say the other one's respectable, but he's like the zaddy that I go to for advice, not lust
Somebody
over.
said he got the
I'm looking for lust.
AARP benefits. Y'all crazy. All right, who's next? Y'all, these comments got me weak.
Did I miss?
Who's
All right,
Denzel
so
does have
next,
a big look. I can say that. That's true.
do y'all know who this is? When I saw this picture, I was like, I didn't know who that was. But
Is this a recent picture?
whoever picked
I'm not here for the booty phase. Give
For
us
the
his
what?
stats. Give us his stats.
Okay, so this is 53-year-old LL. Rapper, actor. Yeah. Maybe this isn't a flattering picture.
The ladies don't
but
love cool dreams.
yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
where
maybe if it was a better
he's
picture.
gone wrong? He got the booty
Does he have
phase.
any?
Like,
He
where?
needs a beard.
Yeah.
He needs a beard. He's bald.
He is bald.
And
he's over 50.
He is 53.
Yeah. It's a no for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a no.
Nah, he ain't ready. Yvonne say he's still not ready. He need to do some more baking. I agree. I ain't here for it.
Bacon.
I'm not here for it.
You guys are a mess.
Back in the oven. He ain't done yet. Okay. Who's next?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So let me tell you who this is. Let's make it single so y'all can see. This is Odell Beckham Sr. So the football player Odell Beckham Jr., this is his daddy. Okay. Where we think about Odell Beckham daddy?
Okay. Okay.
You just made me sad, girl. Let me
Pants a
tell you
little
something.
too tight. Too fitted,
I'm
not tight.
Beckham daddy.
I like the no socks. I like the strategically placed jewelry. The watch, the necklace. I think actually that's too much. The belt buckle, the necklace, the watch. I love the beard, guys.
I'm here for the beard. I don't even like beards like that, but I'm here for it.
I would put my hands all over his head.
This Odell Beckham daddy. Now, some of y'all was asking about his mental status. I do hear
mental status.
He is Odell Beckham daddy. He is as crazy as his son. Okay, so I don't know if that changes your rate. All right, but it looks like we got fours and fives. Aisha said he trying too hard. Branyelia says daddy status with them ripped jeans though. Take the skinny jeans. Okay. All right. Don't like the beard or the facial hair, but some people here for him. They like, yes, daddy. Okay. So we all over the board with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody so far has lost the point. Like a famous person or somebody that's known. Okay. So this last person, it's just a guy. Just a guy. Okay. So this guy, this unnamed guy, is 57 years old. Okay.
Okay.
What do we think about this unnamed guy? Just guy. We're just trying to see.
Yeah, I like him. I like his the bracelet, the bracelets. He only needs one set. You don't need them on both hands, both arms. I like the pleated jacket.
These comments, bro.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. You're making me. I feel like I'm missing these comments. I want to see the frame.
Y'all are funny. They say, why he look like an old Drake?
He look like old.
Y'all too much. They said no beard.
Oh.
Is that a leisure curl? Why y'all roasting this man? This about how tall this might be somebody uncle. Y'all out here clowning this zaddy. Somebody here for him.
He's sexy. He's very sexy. He's very sexy. Like I would if I met him out at a wine bar, I would let him entertain.
Now you can buy me a drink or two. Now we can even cut the rug out here on this dance floor for a minute. Now. Listen, sir, unnamed sir. Oh,
yeah.
I don't like them light skinned like that. You know, I like them to be a little darker or whatever. But I don't know. Just he drank that cognac. Okay, he drinking that cognac or that Scotch, child.
I like it though. I don't know. I like it.
Okay, girl. Now they asking all the extra questions. What he sound like? What is his voice? What does his voice sound like? Does he smell good?
He do look like an uncle, Linda. He do look like an uncle.
I don't know. He looks like he might smell kind of good though. But so maybe that should be our next game, Sab, is to think about colognes. We talked a lot. People talking about the smell goods. So maybe next time we need to think about what cologne smell the best or something. I don't know, because we're clearly infatuated with that. But anyway, thank y'all for playing our game, Zaddy Status. So
that was fun.
You know, some of us have some life considerations that we need to think about, or whether we're willing to risk it all for a zaddy or not. You know, I'm just saying they out here winning. Okay, so you know, thank you for indulging us in that, and feel free in the comments to drop pictures of zaddies that you might feel are more acceptable. Okay, and we'll be more than happy to rate those zaddies as well. All right. So on that note, let's go ahead and transition over into our beautiful brown girl spotlight as we wrap it on up for today. That was right. I enjoyed that.
I wonder if they can see this. Can you see this?
Yes, we can see it now.
So Carrie Harper, Howie, Patricia Williams, and Nicole Enru. This is a mother and daughter duo, and they own every McDonald's in Compton. So owning one McDonald's franchise would be quite an accomplishment in the eyes of most people. But then imagine owning every single McDonald's in Compton along with your daughters, who also chose to join on this incredible entrepreneurial journey. So according to the Los Angeles Sentinel, this scenario mirrors Patricia Williams' realty. In 2017, it was said that Williams and Enru owned every McDonald's location in Compton, along with a third daughter who also came aboard after completing a training program at a later date, and after a while, then Carrie Harper came on. So the empire of McDonald's franchises in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Sentinel also reported that they always see what they can do to help and inspire their community. I thought this was a dope story. I'm glad that we were able to feature these beautiful Black women. I don't know how big Compton is, but I imagine that it's pretty cool and pretty dope that they own all of these franchises. It reminds me of a family when I used to work at a PR agency when I lived in North Carolina, and this family owned all of the McDonald's in Greensboro, North Carolina, or they owned a lot of them. Maybe not all of them. They owned a lot of them.
That's impressive.
I think this is amazing.
That's
Yeah, so
impressive.
congratulations to Carrie Harper, Howie, Patricia Williams, and Nicole Enru. They own
13 McDonald's.
13.
Wow.
Louise. Generational wealth. Yes, you are absolutely right, Christy. This is just wow.
Yeah.
I will say it takes a lot to run McDonald's. Again, like I mentioned, I used to do PR for owner operators in the Carolinas, the tri-state triad. And it's a lot that goes into it. You have to actually work at the McDonald's. You can't just say, I want to be an owner operator, and then, you know, the money starts rolling in. It's a lot that goes into running McDonald's. So just so you know, that these way ladies, I'm pretty sure that they work exceedingly hard in maintaining all of these franchises. And it's a lot. And congratulations. I love to hear it.
That's dope. Awesome. Wonderful. So as always, thank you all for hanging out with us and indulging us in our updates and news as well as our shenanigans. We are always super grateful to be here with you all and hanging out with you all. So we want to make sure that everybody is connected to us. We know that we have some first timers that were hanging out with us. So while we pull up that graphic to show you all of those ways to connect, we definitely want to remind you to connect with us on our members network at members.beautifulbrowngirls.com so that you can gain access to our VIP space. We also want to invite you to like us on Facebook at Beautiful Brown Girls, join our Facebook group Beautifully Shaded, follow us on Instagram at Beautifully Shaded, and on Twitter at Beautiful Brown U. And again, we have so many things that are happening in our members network. That is the way for you to stay connected to all of the things that brown girls care about. So again, go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com, and it is pinned in the comments right now. Sab, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yes, you guys can find me on sabjackson.com. All of my social handles are there, my Twitter, my LinkedIn. Yeah, and my podcast. I forgot to mention that earlier. I am a podcast. Maybe it's just nervousness that got me. So yes, check out my podcast, Bet on a Black Woman. And if you'd like to connect with me on any of those social platforms, probably LinkedIn, please just let me know where you are connecting with me from, just because I say it numerous times, I'm more of a qualitative connector than a quantitative connector. If we are connecting on LinkedIn, I would love to connect with you there. What about you, Kimberly?
Perfect. And you can find me at KimberlandJackson.com or on Instagram at KimberlandJ. Again, I am a life coach. So if you are looking for a life coach that's full of shenanigans, I'm your girl. But no, for real. I help women discover their God-given purpose. So if that is something that you're looking for, you know somebody who is looking for that, definitely connect with me. I also have a devotional project. It's called One Day at a Time. 365 days of devotions, affirmations, and encouragements. And I have a podcast called The Whole Child with a new website, thewholechild.tv. So you can go there and check out all of my podcasts, as well as I'm starting a new podcast. It's called Minding My Black Ass Business. So that'll be coming out soon as well. So you can catch all of that on my Insta or at my website. Again, thank you all for always being so amazing and hanging out with us. The conversation doesn't stop here. Okay, so make sure we continue hanging out in the comments. Make sure you meet us over in the members network. We'll be back with our next episode of Brown Versations.
Do you want to tell the ladies?
From now, no, 2 Mondays from now on April 26th. So make sure that you tune in for that at 8 p.m. Okay, so I want to make sure that you're here for that. Other than that, we wish you all an amazing evening, and we will see you again real soon.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.